The door was already halfway open when his voice cut through the room. Where are you going
dressed like this?
That? Her hand froze on the handle. For half a second, she considered pretending she hadn't heard him, pretending the air hadn't shifted, pretending her heartbeat hadn't jumped violently against her ribs. But she turned anyway, slowly, deliberately. The silk dress hugged her curves like it had been stitched with intention, not permission. Thin straps rested against her shoulders. Her hair fell freely down her back, untamed, just like the defiance in her eyes. "I'm going out," she said evenly. The words landed like a challenge. The MAFIA Don, Luciano de Luca, stood near the tall windows, sleeves rolled up, posture relaxed in the dangerous way that meant he wasn't relaxed at all. His gaze dragged over her, not with hunger first, but with something sharper, possessive, calculating. "Out," he repeated. "At this hour?" She shrugged. "The night doesn't belong to you." A muscle ticked in his jaw. Around them, the room held its breath. The guards near the walls pretended not to listen. The housekeeper quietly disappeared through a side door. This wasn't their argument to witness. Luciano took one step forward, then another. Not rushing, never rushing. "You didn't dress like that to step out," he said calmly. "You dressed like that to be seen." Her lips curved into a slow smile that didn't reach her eyes. "And that bothers you because the world doesn't deserve to look at you the way I do." He didn't say it. Instead, he stopped an arm's length away, close enough that she could smell his cologne. Dark, expensive, dangerous. Close enough that her pulse betrayed her. "It bothers me," he said quietly, "because attention invites questions. And questions scare you?" His gaze dropped to her mouth, then back to her eyes. "No," he replied. "Answers do." She should have stepped back. She didn't. "You don't get to decide where I go," she said, "or what I wear." Luciano exhaled through his nose, the faintest sign of irritation. "You've been under my roof for 6 months. And?" she snapped. "Does that make me property?" Silence slammed into the space between them. This was the line neither of them usually crossed. His voice dropped lower. "I saved your life." Her chest rose sharply. "You complicated it." The words hit harder than a slap. For a brief moment, something unguarded flashed across his face. Not anger, something closer to regret. Then it vanished. "You walk out that door tonight," he said, "and you won't just be seen. You'll be noticed." She laughed, sharp and humorless. "You keep saying that like it's supposed to scare me. It should." She stepped closer now, invading his space deliberately. "Why? Because someone might realize I exist outside your shadow?" His hand lifted. She stiffened, instinctively. But he didn't touch her. He reached past her, pushing the door shut with a soft click. The sound echoed loudly in her chest. "I'm not hiding you," he said. "I'm protecting you." "From what?" she demanded. "Or from who?" His gaze softened for half a second too long. "From me," he said. That answer unsettled her more than any threat could have. She swallowed. "Then let me go." Luciano studied her face. Really studied it. The fire, the frustration, the vulnerability she tried so hard to mask. "You don't understand the signal it sends," he said. "A woman at my side dressed like that." "I am not at your side," she interrupted. "I'm not your date, your trophy, or your secret." His mouth curved slightly. "You're something far more dangerous." Her breath caught. "Don't." "Don't what?" "Don't talk like that," she said, "because then I might forget why I'm angry." His eyes darkened. "Maybe that's exactly why you're dressed like that." Her heart slammed. "If you're enjoying this tension, pause for a second and comment. Should she walk out or stay? And don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next, because this night is just beginning." She broke eye contact first, not because she lost, but because she felt herself slipping. "I'm leaving," she said again, softer this time. Luciano didn't move. Then answer me one thing, he said. Who are you meeting? She hesitated. That hesitation told him everything. His expression hardened. You didn't think I'd notice. She lifted her chin. I don't need your approval. No, he agreed. You don't. Then he stepped aside. The door was clear. Freedom stood inches away. Her fingers curled around the handle again. But something in his voice stopped her. If you walk out, he said quietly, don't pretend you don't know what you're leaving behind. She turned slowly. What am I leaving behind, Luciano? His gaze burned into hers. Me, he said. The door stayed closed. Not because Luciano locked it, but because she didn't open it. She hated herself for that. Luciano noticed. He always noticed when she hesitated. When pride fought curiosity. When anger wrestled with something dangerously close to desire. You're still here, he said quietly. She released the handle and turned back fully. Don't flatter yourself. I just don't like unfinished conversations. His mouth curved faintly. Liar, her eyes flashed. You don't know me. I know, he said, that you came into my house with nothing but defiance and stayed because you refused to run. That landed closer to the truth than she liked. She crossed her arms. I stayed because you convinced me I had no choice. Luciano leaned against the table behind him, posture deceptively casual. Everyone has a choice. You didn't give me one. I gave you time. Her laugh was sharp. You gave me rules. Yes, he said calmly. And you break them daily. She should have walked away again. Instead, she stepped deeper into the room. Why does it bother you so much? She asked. Tonight, this dress, me leaving. His gaze lifted slowly, meeting hers. Because, he said, I don't like being reminded of what I can't control. Her heartbeat skipped. And what can't you control? She pressed. He didn't answer immediately. That silence, heavy, deliberate, was more revealing than words. She remembered the first night she'd arrived here, terrified, angry, exhausted. She had expected threats. Instead, he had offered her a glass of water and a locked door. You're safe here, he had said. She hadn't believed him then. She didn't entirely believe him now. You still haven't told me why tonight matters so much, she said. Luciano straightened. Because there's a gathering. Her brow furrowed. A party? A negotiation, he corrected. Old allies, new eyes. And my presence would… What? She asked. Distract them? Yes, she scoffed. You think I'm that important? I know you are. The certainty in his voice sent a pulse of heat straight through her chest. She turned away, pacing a few steps, then spun back. You don't get to decide when I'm visible. I don't, he agreed. But I do get to decide when you're vulnerable. Her shoulders tensed. I'm not weak. Luciano took a step closer. I know. That's what scares me. She searched his face for mockery. There was none. Only honesty. You think the world is fair, he continued. That confidence is armor. And you think fear is wisdom. I think survival is. The room felt smaller. She exhaled slowly. You can't keep me locked away forever. I'm not trying to, he said. I'm trying to keep you alive long enough to choose when you step into the fire. She met his gaze. And what if I don't want your protection? His eyes darkened. Then you're asking me to stop caring. That stopped her cold. The words hung between them, raw and unguarded. She swallowed. You shouldn't care. Luciano laughed softly, without humor. That would have been convenient. Silence stretched again, charged, intimate, dangerous. Her voice dropped. You don't even trust me. I trust you, he said. I don't trust what others will do when they see you standing beside me. A realization crept in. You're not afraid of them, she said slowly. No. You're afraid of what they'll think if they realize I matter. His jaw tightened. That was answer enough. She stepped closer, close enough that her dress brushed his leg. close enough that the space between them felt like a lie. "You don't own me," she said softly. "I know, but you don't. Want anyone else thinking they can have me?" Luciano's breath slowed. "No." Her pulse roared in her ears. "Then say it." He hesitated. That hesitation told her everything. If you're enjoying this tension, drop a comment now. Should he confess or keep hiding? And don't forget to like and subscribe, because this line they're dancing on is about to snap. Luciano finally spoke. "I don't want anyone else looking at you," he said quietly, "because I don't trust myself to remain indifferent." Her breath hitched. "That's not protection," she whispered. "That's possession." "Call it what you want," he replied. "I call it honesty." Her heart raced. "Then be honest," she said. "If I stay tonight, what changes?" His gaze held hers. "Nothing." She laughed softly. "That's a lie." "Yes," he admitted. "It is." She turned toward the couch and sat, crossing her legs slowly, deliberately. "Then tell me the truth." Luciano watched her for a long moment. "If you stay," he said, "I stop pretending this is temporary." Her chest tightened. "And if I leave?" His eyes never left hers. "Then I learn how to let you go." That choice settled heavily between them. She leaned back, fingers gripping the fabric of her dress. The night was far from over, and neither was the danger, emotional or otherwise. She didn't answer him right away. Instead, she uncrossed her legs slowly, stood, and walked toward the window. The city stretched beyond the glass. Lights glittering, alive, free. Everything she wasn't supposed to touch. Luciano watched her reflection more than her back. "You talk about letting me choose," she said quietly. "But every option you give comes with strings." "That's life," he replied. "Especially mine." She turned. "I never asked to be part of it." "No," he said. "But you walked into it anyway." Her jaw tightened. "I walked into a bar. You walked into my life." The memory rose between them, uninvited. Rain. Noise. A wrong place at the wrong time. She had been laughing that night. Careless, bright, unafraid. Luciano remembered thinking she didn't belong anywhere near men like him. Yet here she was. "You still haven't told me," she said, eyes sharp. "Why you didn't let me leave when I first asked." Luciano's expression shifted. Subtle, but she caught it. "Because you weren't safe," he said. "That's what you keep saying. And you keep pretending you don't know why." She frowned. "What does that mean?" He walked toward her slowly, stopping a careful distance away. "You didn't end up in that bar by accident." Her stomach tightened. "What are you implying?" "I'm saying," he replied evenly, "someone followed you there." The room felt colder. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking." She searched his face, pulse quickening. "You would have told me." "I did," he said. "Just not all of it." Anger flared. "You decided what I could handle?" "I decided what would keep you sleeping at night." She laughed bitterly. "By lying to me?" "By surviving," he shot back. Silence snapped between them. "You think I don't know how dangerous your world is?" she demanded. "I see the men, the whispers, the way everyone freezes when you walk in. And you still dress like that and want to step into it alone," he said quietly. "That's either bravery or recklessness. Or maybe I'm tired of living like a ghost." That hit him harder than she intended. Luciano exhaled slowly. "You think I enjoy watching you fade?" "You enjoy control." "No," he said. "I enjoy certainty." She stepped closer again, anger fueling her courage. "And I ruin that for you." His gaze dropped to her lips before he caught himself. "Yes." Her heart skipped. "You don't trust yourself around me," she said softly. Luciano's voice was low. "I trust myself too much." The air thickened. She could feel it now, the pull she'd been denying. The way his restraint was far more dangerous than force. "If I told you to leave right now," she asked quietly, "would you stop me?" His eyes locked onto hers. No. The honesty startled her. But, he added, I'd hate myself for it. Her breath hitched. That was new. You don't hate easily, she said. No, he agreed. Which should tell you something. She looked away first this time, heart racing. You don't even know me. I know, he said, and that's the problem. The doorbell rang. Sharp, unexpected. They both froze. Luciano's posture shifted instantly, not violent, just alert. He glanced at the clock. They're early. She frowned. Who? The people I didn't want seeing you tonight. Her stomach flipped. Then let me go to my room. No. Luciano. He lifted a hand, silencing her gently. If they see you running, they'll assume weakness. So what? She whispered. You want me to stay? I want you, he corrected quietly, to stand. Her pulse thundered. Beside you? She asked. Yes. She stared at him. That's dangerous. His mouth curved slightly. So am I. Another ring of the bell. Impatient now. If you're feeling this moment, tap like in comment. Should she stand with him or walk away before it's too late? She squared her shoulders. Fine, she said. But you don't get to speak for me. Luciano nodded once. I wouldn't dare. He offered his arm, not possessively, but formally. The gesture alone sent a thrill through her. She hesitated, then took it. The door opened. Voices filled the space. Curious eyes turned toward her. She felt them assessing, measuring, calculating. Luciano's hand rested lightly over hers, not claiming, grounding. This, he said calmly to the room, is someone under my protection? Her breath caught. She glanced up at him. That's not what we agreed. His thumb brushed her wrist. Barely there. I said I wouldn't speak for you. Then, louder, he added, unless you wish to correct me. Every gaze swung back to her. The power shifted. The choice was hers. And the night had just begun. Every pair of eyes stayed on her. She felt it immediately. The weight of judgment, curiosity, calculation. These weren't people who looked at others casually. These were people trained to read weakness, to sense leverage. Luciano didn't move. He didn't tighten his grip, didn't pull her closer, didn't rescue her. He waited. She lifted her chin. Yes, she said clearly. I am. The room shifted. Not dramatically, but subtly, like a chessboard rearranging itself. One of the men smiled politely. Too politely. We didn't realize you were entertaining. I'm not, she replied calmly. I live here. Luciano's eyes flicked to her for half a second. Surprise. Then approval. That's new, the man said lightly. So is honesty, she replied. Luciano's hand brushed her back, brief, grounding. A silent acknowledgement that she just altered the rules. Conversation resumed, but differently now. Questions were directed at Luciano that weren't really about business. Comments were layered with double meanings. Glances lingered on her a second too long. She noticed one woman in particular. Elegant, sharp-eyed, standing a little too close to Luciano when she spoke. Familiar, comfortable. Jealousy stirred before she could stop it. She hated that. So, the woman said smoothly, eyes flicking over her dress. How did you two meet? Luciano answered before she could. We didn't. The woman blinked. You lived together, but you didn't meet. She smiled sweetly. Fate has interesting timing. Luciano's mouth curved slightly. She felt heat bloom under her skin. The woman leaned closer to Luciano. Be careful, she murmured. Attachments complicate things. Luciano didn't look away from her. So does assuming I don't know the difference. That shut the woman up. Her pulse raced. This was dangerous, not because of the people, but because she liked how he defended her without declaring ownership. After an hour, Luciano excused them both. The moment the door closed behind them, the air shifted again. You enjoyed that, she accused quietly as they walked down the corridor. I enjoyed watching you hold your ground, he replied. You didn't warn me. I wanted to see what you'd do. She stopped walking. You tested me? Luciano turned to face her fully. I trusted you. That stole the anger from her chest. That woman, she said instead. She knows you. She knows my reputation. She knows you, she insisted. He studied her expression. Is that a problem? She hesitated. I don't like being a surprise, she said finally. Luciano stepped closer. Then don't be. The space between them thinned dangerously. You're not used to competition, she added quietly. A spark lit his eyes. Neither are you. Her breath hitched. They stood there. Too close, too quiet. If I asked you to stay tonight, he said softly, would you? She searched his face. Stay or hide? Stay, he said. With me. Her heart pounded. You don't even know what you want from me. I know exactly what I want, he replied. I just don't know if I'm allowed to want it. That vulnerability was worse than any threat. If this moment is making your heart race, like the video now, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. This is where everything changes. She stepped back, not because she didn't want him, because she wanted control. I need air, she said. Luciano nodded. I'll walk you. No, she said. Alone. He hesitated, then let her pass. As she reached the balcony doors, she felt it. A prickle at the back of her neck. The sense of being watched. She turned slightly. Across the room, the polite man from earlier met her gaze and smiled. Not warmly, knowingly. Her stomach dropped. She stepped outside quickly, gripping the railing as the cool night air hit her skin. Luciano appeared moments later. You okay? He asked quietly. She nodded. Someone inside doesn't want me here. Luciano's jaw tightened, not with violence, but recognition. I know, he said. Her eyes widened. You knew? I suspected, he admitted. That's why tonight mattered. She stared at him. You brought me into a room full of people who might see me as leverage. I brought you into a room, he said evenly, so they'd see you as untouchable. Her heart raced. By standing beside you. Yes. She looked back through the glass doors. The smiles, the whispers. The woman watching her with narrowed eyes. You're not just protecting me, she whispered. You're declaring something. Luciano met her gaze. I'm drawing a line. And if they cross it? His voice was calm. They won't. She wasn't sure if that comforted or terrified her. A beat passed. Then another. She turned to him slowly. If I stay here, with you, I need one thing. Luciano waited. No secrets, she said. Not anymore. His eyes darkened. That, he said quietly, might be the one thing I can't promise. Her heart sank. The balcony lights flickered. Inside, laughter rang too loudly. And somewhere in the mansion, a decision was being made that would change everything. She didn't sleep that night, not because of fear, but because every time she closed her eyes, she saw the look on Luciano's face when he said there were things he couldn't promise. Morning light crept into the room, soft and deceptive. She lay still, staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet hum of a house that never truly rested. When she finally stepped out, she found him already awake. In the kitchen, sleeves rolled up, coffee untouched. You're up early, she said. I didn't sleep, he replied. That startled her. Why? Luciano glanced at her, then away. Because I don't like unresolved conversations. She crossed her arms. Then resolve it. He leaned back against the counter. If I tell you everything, you may leave. And if you don't, she said calmly, I definitely will. Silence, heavy, deliberate. Luciano exhaled. You weren't followed by accident, he said finally. Her chest tightened. You already said that. I didn't finish, he replied. You were noticed long before you met me. She frowned. By who? Someone who thought you were convenient. The word chilled her. I don't understand. Luciano's gaze hardened. Not at her, but at the memory. You were seen with someone they were watching, someone you didn't even know mattered. Her mind raced. The bar. Yes. So you saved me because… What? I was in the wrong place? No, he said quietly. Because once they noticed you, walking away would have made you a target. Her breath caught. So staying with you kept me safe. Yes. And telling me this now, she asked, means I'm risking you hating me. She laughed softly, bitter. You already made that choice for me. Luciano stepped closer. I made the choice to keep you alive. She looked away, blinking rapidly. You should have let me decide, and watch you walk into danger unaware. His voice dropped. I couldn't. That honesty, again, unsettled her. If I leave now, she asked quietly, what happens? Luciano didn't hesitate. They'll watch you. And if I stay, they'll hesitate. Because of you, she realized. She swallowed. So I'm leverage. No, he said sharply. You're a line. She met his gaze. And lines get crossed. Luciano's jaw tightened. Not this one. Her heart raced. She turned away, pacing. You don't get to decide my life because someone else saw me. I didn't decide your life, he said. I paused it. She stopped. You paused my freedom. Yes, he admitted. So you'd still have a future to choose from. The logic hurt worse than lies. She faced him again. You should have trusted me. I'm trusting you now. With what? She demanded. With the truth, he said, and with the risk that you'll walk out that door. A knock echoed through the space. Both of them froze. Luciano's eyes flicked toward the hallway. You weren't expecting anyone? No, she said. Another knock. Firmer. Luciano moved first. Not aggressively, just controlled. He opened the door. The same polite man from the night before stood there, smiling. I hope I'm not interrupting, the man said smoothly, eyes sliding past Luciano, straight to her. Her stomach dropped. Luciano's voice was cool. You are. The man chuckled. I only wanted to say hello properly. You left so suddenly last night. She felt the trap closing. Luciano stepped slightly in front of her, not blocking, just signaling. That won't be necessary, he said. The man's smile widened. On the contrary, it already is. If your heart just skipped, comment right now. Should she confront him or stay silent? And don't forget to like and subscribe, because this is where the tension fractures. She stepped forward. No, she said firmly. If there's something to say it to me. Luciano's head snapped toward her. You don't have to. I know, she replied quietly. But I want to. The man's eyes gleamed with interest. Bold. She held his gaze. Honest. He tilted his head. You don't know how valuable honesty can be. Luciano's voice was low. This conversation is over. The man raised his hands placatingly. Relax, I'm just curious. About what? She asked. About whether you realize, he said softly, how much power you're standing in. Her pulse thundered. Luciano shut the door, harder than necessary. The silence afterward was suffocating. You shouldn't have done that, Luciano said quietly. I'm tired of being protected from information, she shot back. I can handle it. He turned to her fully. Can you handle knowing that people may never stop seeing you as leverage? She held his gaze. Can you handle treating me like a choice instead of a shield? That hit. Luciano ran a hand through his hair. You're changing the balance. Good, she said. Because I refuse to live on borrowed safety. A beat passed. Then Luciano said something unexpected. If you leave, he said, I won't stop you. Her breath caught. But, he added, I'll still watch from a distance. Her chest tightened. That's not freedom. No, he agreed. That's care. She didn't answer, because part of her already knew walking away wouldn't free her. It would only change the danger. And the choice she made next would bind her to him or separate them forever. She packed slowly, not because she had much to take, but because every item felt like a decision she wasn't ready to make. Luciano didn't stop her. That hurt more than if he had. He stood by the doorway, arms folded, expression unreadable. Not cold, not angry, controlled in a way that made her chest ache. "You don't have to rush," he said. She zipped the bag anyway. "If I stay longer, I won't leave." His jaw tightened. "That's not fair," he said quietly. She finally looked at him. Neither was keeping the truth from me. "I told you as soon as I could." "No," she replied. "You told me when you thought you might lose me." Silence stretched. "That's how most people confess," he said. She slung the bag over her shoulder. "Most people aren't you." She walked past him. He didn't touch her, didn't block her. But his voice stopped her just before the door. "If you walk out," he said, "this won't end cleanly." She turned slowly. "You think I don't know that?" "I think," he replied. "You're choosing pain you can control over safety you can't." Her eyes stung. "I'm choosing myself." He nodded once. "Then go." The door opened. Light flooded in. So did fear. She took one step out and froze. The street was quiet. Too quiet. Her instincts screamed. Luciano felt it too. He moved beside her instantly, not grabbing, just present. "Get back inside," he murmured. "I thought you said—" "I did," he replied. "But I won't let you walk into something I can see." She hesitated, then trusted him. The door closed behind them. Her breath shook. "Was someone there?" "Not yet," he said. "But soon." She dropped her bag. Just like that, the decision shattered. She turned on him. "I hate this." "I know." "I hate that you're right." "I know." "I hate that part of me wants to stay because of you." Luciano's voice softened. "Then stay because of you." She laughed weakly. "You're not making this easier." "I'm not trying to." They stood there, the air thick with everything unsaid. "You never asked why I don't like being watched," she said suddenly. Luciano looked at her. "Why?" She swallowed. "Because I grew up being noticed for the wrong reasons. Always seen, never chosen." Something in his expression shifted. "You think I haven't chosen you?" he said quietly. "I think," she replied, "you chose to protect me before you chose to know me." "That's not true," he said. "Then why does it feel like I'm an obligation?" He stepped closer, slowly, deliberately. "You're not," he said. "You're a risk." Her heart pounded. "And I don't take risks lightly." That wasn't romantic. It was worse. It was real. She looked up at him. "What happens if I stay?" Luciano didn't pretend. "You'll be watched, whispered about, judged. And you?" "I'll stop pretending I'm detached." Her breath caught. "That sounds dangerous." "It is." A beat, then another. She reached for her bag and pushed it aside. Luciano didn't smile, but relief flickered in his eyes. "If you're staying," he said quietly, "there are boundaries." She raised a brow. "Rules again?" "Yes," he replied. "For me too." She searched his face. "Like what?" "I won't touch you," he said, "unless you ask." Her pulse spiked. "And I won't lie to you," he added, "even when the truth costs me." That mattered. "Fine," she said softly. "Then I have one rule." He waited. "Don't disappear emotionally when things get hard." Luciano nodded once. "Deal." The moment stretched, dangerously intimate. He turned away first. "I'll have a room prepared farther from the main wing," he said. "More privacy." She hesitated. "You're not sending me away?" "No," he said. "I'm giving you space." She nodded. That night, she lay awake again. But this time, it wasn't fear keeping her up. It was the sound of his footsteps passing her door, slow, controlled, lingering just long enough to prove he was there. And that was worse than any threat. Because now she knew. Leaving wasn't the hardest part. Staying was. One confession changes everything. The days that followed were quieter than she expected. Too quiet. Luciano kept his distance, but not absence. He was always nearby without being intrusive. A presence rather than a shadow. He spoke to her at meals, asked her opinions during conversations with staff, made sure she had what she needed without hovering. It was considerate and unbearable, because silence between them felt heavier than arguments. One evening she found him in the study, sleeves rolled up again, papers spread across the desk. The sight of him focused, jaw tense, brows drawn, made something ache in her chest. "You're avoiding me," she said. Luciano didn't look up. "I'm respecting the boundary. I didn't ask for distance," she replied. "I asked for honesty." He finally met her gaze. "This is me being honest about my self-control." Her heart stuttered. "That bad?" she asked lightly. "Yes," he said without hesitation. The room felt smaller. She moved closer, stopping just short of the desk. "You're acting like proximity is dangerous." "It is," he replied. "For both of us." She folded her arms. "You think I don't feel it too?" Luciano's eyes darkened. "Then you understand why I'm stepping back." She exhaled sharply. "You're punishing yourself. I'm protecting you." "No," she said firmly. "You're afraid." That struck deeper than she expected. Luciano leaned back slowly. "Of what?" "Of wanting something you can't control." Silence. His jaw flexed. "You don't know what control costs." She softened slightly. "Then tell me." He stood. The sudden movement made her pulse spike. Luciano walked around the desk, stopping a careful distance away. "I've spent years making sure my emotions never interfere with decisions." "And now?" she asked. "And now?" he said quietly. "They do." Her breath caught. "That's not my fault," she whispered. "I know," he said. "That's why it scares me." She took a step closer. "Luciano." He held up a hand. "If you come any closer, I won't be able to pretend this is harmless." Her heart hammered. "Pretend what?" "That I don't think about you when I shouldn't," he admitted. "That I don't imagine what it would feel like to stop holding back." The honesty sent heat flooding through her. She swallowed. "You said you wouldn't touch me unless I asked." "Yes. And if I don't ask, then I don't." The restraint in his voice made her chest ache. She turned away, needing space to breathe. "This is torture." "It's discipline," he corrected. She laughed softly. "You're impossible." "And you're dangerous," he replied. She turned back. "Because I challenge you?" "Because you matter," he said before he could stop himself. The words fell into the room, bare, unguarded. His eyes widened slightly, like he hadn't meant to say it aloud. Her heart slammed against her ribs. "You matter?" she repeated. Luciano didn't look away. "Yes." The admission hung between them, fragile and powerful. If that confession just hit you, pause and like the video now. This is the moment everything tilts. And subscribe, because what follows will test them both. She stepped closer, slowly, deliberately. "You didn't mean to say that," she said softly. "No," he admitted, "but it's true." Her voice trembled. "Since when?" Luciano exhaled. "Since the night you refused to run." Her eyes stung. "That's not fair." "I know," he said, "but it's honest." They were too close now. She could smell his cologne, feel the heat of him. "Luciano," she whispered, "if we keep doing this—" "I know," he said. "You'll break your own rules." "Yes, and I'll get hurt." His gaze softened. "That's the one thing I'm trying to avoid." She lifted her hand, stopped inches from his chest. "Tell me to stop," she said. He didn't. He just looked at her, eyes dark with restraint. I won't, he said quietly. But I won't cross the line either. Her hand fell. Disappointment and relief tangled painfully. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. The moment shattered. Luciano stepped back instantly, expression closing like armor snapping into place. A staff member appeared. "Sir, there's a call. Private." Luciano nodded. "I'll take it." He glanced at her once more, lingering, conflicted. "We'll talk later," he said. She nodded, heart racing. As he left, she realized something terrifying. This wasn't just attraction anymore. This was attachment. And attachments were the most dangerous currency in his world. The call lasted longer than she expected. Too long. She wandered the hallway, pretending she wasn't waiting, pretending her heart wasn't thudding every time footsteps echoed. When Luciano finally returned, his expression was closed off again, calm, distant, controlled. Armor back in place. "You're busy," she said lightly. "Yes," he replied. "Things are moving." "That sounds ominous. It usually is." She studied him. "You're pulling away again." Luciano met her gaze. "Because I need to think." "About what?" "About whether I'm making this harder than it has to be." Her chest tightened. And whether protecting you means stepping back or stepping closer." Before she could respond, voices drifted in from the foyer. Laughter. A man's voice. Warm, familiar in a way that made something twist in her stomach. She followed the sound and stopped short. A stranger stood near the entrance. Tall, well-dressed, confident in a way that wasn't threatening, but intentional. His smile was easy, his posture relaxed, like someone who didn't fear being judged, and he was looking straight at her. "There you are," he said, eyes lighting up. "I was hoping I hadn't missed you." Luciano appeared beside her instantly. "This is unexpected," Luciano said coolly. The man extended a hand, not to Luciano, but to her. "Ethan, we met briefly at the charity gala last year." She hesitated, then shook his hand. "I remember." Luciano's jaw tightened, just slightly. "I didn't realize you were staying here," Ethan continued pleasantly. "Small world." "It is," she replied. Luciano's voice cut in. "She's my guest." Ethan smiled. "Lucky you." The air shifted. She felt it. Luciano's tension, sharp and contained. "So," Ethan said to her, "are you enjoying the city? I was thinking of showing you a few places, somewhere public." Luciano's eyes snapped to her. Her pulse raced. This was new territory. She began. Luciano interrupted too quickly. "She won't be available." She turned sharply. "I can answer for myself." Silence. Luciano looked at her, really looked. And something dark flickered behind his restraint. Ethan raised a brow, amused. "I didn't mean to intrude." "You didn't," she said calmly. "But you are assuming." Luciano's voice dropped. "We can discuss this later." "No," she replied. "We're discussing it now. If you feel the tension right now, comment immediately. Should she go with Ethan or confront Luciano? And like and subscribe, because this moment is about to explode emotionally." She faced Luciano fully. "You don't get to decide who I talk to." "I'm aware," he said. "But I do get to recognize risks." "Or rivals," she challenged. Ethan chuckled softly. "I can see I walked into something complicated." Luciano didn't look away from her. "This isn't about jealousy." She scoffed. "Then what is it about?" "It's about me losing objectivity," he admitted quietly. That stunned her. Ethan shifted uncomfortably. "Perhaps I should—" "No," she said suddenly. "Stay." Luciano's eyes widened slightly. She turned to Ethan. "I appreciate the invitation." Luciano's breath slowed dangerously. "But," she continued, "now isn't the time." Ethan nodded, gracious. "Another time, then." He glanced once more at Luciano, measured, curious, then left. The door closed. The silence afterward was electric. That, Luciano said slowly, was unnecessary. She crossed her arms. So was you speaking for me? I wasn't speaking for you, he replied. I was reacting. Exactly, she said. Emotionally. His eyes darkened. You enjoyed that. I enjoyed being seen as a person, she shot back. Not a liability. Luciano stepped closer. You wanted to provoke me. Yes, she admitted. Because I needed to know if you cared enough to lose control. And now, he asked. Her voice softened. Now I know. He exhaled sharply, running a hand through his hair. This is why distance exists. Distance won't erase this, she said. It just makes it quieter. They stood inches apart. You don't want me, Luciano said lowly. You want proof. She shook her head. I want truth. And the truth, he said, is that wanting you compromises me. Her heart pounded. Say it again. Luciano closed his eyes briefly, then opened them. I want you, he said. The words landed hard. She sucked in a breath. But, he continued, I won't act on it while this world can use you against me. Her chest ached. So I'm the excuse. No, he said. You're the reason. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry, because now the line between protection and desire was gone, and neither of them could pretend otherwise. Luciano didn't sleep. He sat alone in the study long after the house quieted, replaying every second of the evening. The way she stood her ground, the way his composure slipped, the way saying, I want you felt both inevitable and reckless. By morning he'd made a decision. One he hated. She found out over breakfast. I'm arranging for you to stay somewhere else, he said calmly, not meeting her eyes. Temporarily. Her spoon stilled midair. Excuse me? A different residence, he continued evenly. Secure, quiet, less attention. Her chest tightened. You're sending me away. I'm relocating you. She laughed once, sharp, disbelieving. You really think changing the building changes anything? Yes, he said, it changes who's watching. And what about us? She demanded. Luciano finally looked at her. That's exactly why this has to happen. The words felt like a slap. So instead of trusting me, she said slowly, you're choosing distance again. I'm choosing clarity, he replied. This isn't sustainable. Her voice shook. Because you want me? Yes, he said without hesitation. And that makes me careless. She stood abruptly. You don't get to manage your feelings by exiling me. I'm not exiling you, he said. I'm protecting you. She grabbed her jacket. From what? Yourself? He didn't answer. That was answer enough. She moved toward the door, then stopped. If I leave, she said quietly, don't follow me. Luciano's jaw tightened. I won't. The lie sat between them. If this hurts, comment now. Should he let her go or fight for her? And like and subscribe, because this separation won't last quietly. The drive was silent. Too silent. The city blurred past as the car moved farther from everything familiar, and from him. When they arrived, the place was beautiful, secure, impeccable, empty. This is temporary, Luciano said as they stepped inside. She turned to him. So is everything you keep avoiding. He held her gaze. I won't come here. She swallowed. Why? Because if I do, he said quietly, I won't leave. Her breath caught. He stepped back, creating space she hadn't asked for. I'll make sure you're safe, he added, from a distance. She nodded, unable to speak. He turned to go. Luciano, she said softly. He stopped, but didn't turn. You don't get to decide alone anymore. His shoulders tensed. I know. The door closed behind him. That night, the silence screamed. She paced, sat, stared at her phone, didn't call, didn't message. Neither did he. Across the city, Luciano stood on his balcony staring at lights that weren't hers. Every instinct screamed to go to her. He didn't, because restraint, he told himself, was love. The next evening, there was a knock. She froze. Checked the door camera. Luciano. Her heart slammed. She opened the door halfway. "You said you wouldn't come." "I tried not to," he replied. Her voice trembled. "Then why are you here?" "Because distance didn't fix anything," he said. "It clarified it." She stepped back, letting him in. The air between them crackled instantly. "You shouldn't be here," she whispered. "I know," he said, closing the door. "But neither should you be alone." They stood, inches apart. "I'm tired," she said softly, "of being protected instead of chosen." Luciano's control frayed. "You are chosen." "Then act like it," she said. He hesitated. 1 second too long. Her eyes filled. "That's what I thought." She turned away. Luciano caught her wrist, not forcefully, desperately. "I can't promise you safety and honesty without risking everything," he said. "But I can promise this." She faced him, breath shaking. "I won't pretend anymore." Their faces were dangerously close. The line they'd danced around for weeks was right there. One step, one word, one mistake, and everything would change. The room felt too small for the truth pressing against it. Luciano's hand was still around her wrist, warm, steady. Nothing like the chaos racing through her chest. She could feel his pulse under her fingers when she shifted slightly. Fast, controlled, barely. "Let go," she whispered. He didn't. Not immediately. "If I do," he said quietly, "you might walk away." "And if you don't," she replied, voice trembling, "you're proving everything I've been afraid of." That did it. He released her. The loss of contact felt sharper than any grip. She stepped back, wrapping her arms around herself. "You came here because you were lonely," she said, "not because you were ready." Luciano shook his head. "I came because I realized something." She looked up at him, guarded. "What?" "That protecting you from my world doesn't work," he said, "because you're already in it, and pretending otherwise only gives it more power over you." Her breath slowed, just a little. "I've built my life on control," he continued, "on choosing outcomes, eliminating variables." "And I'm a variable," she said softly. "You're the one I can't eliminate," he replied, "no matter how hard I try." Silence fell again, thick, emotional, fragile. She took a step closer, then stopped trying. Luciano looked at her like a man standing at the edge of something irreversible. "If I choose you openly," he said, "people will test it. I know. They'll use you to get to me. I know. And I won't always be able to keep you untouched by that." She met his gaze without flinching. "I don't need untouched. I need chosen." Something in his expression broke. Not violently. Quietly. Decisively. Luciano straightened, as if making a call only he could hear. "Then listen to me," he said. "And listen carefully." She nodded. "I will not hide you," he said. "I will not send you away to make myself comfortable, and I will not pretend that what I feel is strategic." Her heart pounded. "I will choose you," he continued, voice steady, "even when it costs me leverage, even when it complicates negotiations, even when it makes me vulnerable." Her eyes filled with tears. "But," he added, "I won't trap you. If you stay, it's because you want to, not because you're afraid to leave." She exhaled shakily. "You're asking me to walk into this with my eyes open." "Yes," he said, "with mine open too." A beat. Then she closed the distance between them. Not rushing, not desperate, just sure. "I'm not staying because you're powerful," she said softly. "I'm staying because you finally stopped running." Luciano's breath caught. He lifted a hand, hesitated for half a second, then rested it against her cheek. Reverent, restrained. "Is this you asking?" he asked quietly. She nodded. "Yes." He leaned in slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. The kiss was not frantic. It was controlled, careful, heavy with everything they'd held back. When they finally parted, foreheads touching, both of them breathing unevenly. The world felt altered, subtly, permanently. "This changes things," she whispered. Luciano nodded. "For everyone." Outside, a car passed. Somewhere in the city, plans were already shifting. People would notice, questions would be asked. But for the first time since they met, neither of them stepped back. If you stayed till this moment, comment what you think happens next, like the video, and subscribe. Because this story doesn't end here. This choice only opens the next chapter. Luciano pulled back just enough to meet her eyes. "You should know," he said. "Choosing you means I'll have to confront things I've avoided for years." She smiled faintly. "Good. I'm tired of pretending too." He took her hand, not possessive, not protective, equal. And as they stood there, aware that peace would be temporary and consequences inevitable, one thing was clear. This wasn't a safe love, but it was a chosen one. And sometimes that was the most dangerous and powerful kind of all. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to watch more stories like this. See you in the next video.